Welcome back to Let's Vibe podcast hosted by Vibe with Aid. I am so excited to share my experience with you guys this week as I attended the first ever Drive-In rave held in San Antonio, Texas this past weekend. We'll talk about my thoughts on these events and if they're the future of live music, but without further ado, let's vibe into today's episode. Happy Tuesday, you guys. Yes, happy Tuesday, y'all. I decided to not rush getting this episode out to y'all on Monday, so here we are on this fine Tuesday. I'm still recording it on Monday, but hello, happy Tuesday. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. I am really excited to have y'all here. As we're going to be talking about drive-in raves and everything that's been going on with festival season and whatnot. I attended one this past weekend, so I'm excited to share my experience. Thank you for all the love and support I got on the last episode of Let's Vibe that featured Jade Woods. It was such a great conversation on diversity and inclusion and being an ally in the rave scene, so go check it out if you haven't yet. But while you're listening to today's episode, feel free to tag me on Instagram through an Instagram story that you're listening. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts and all that jazz. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. We are testing out a new camera today for the podcast. This is why I got this camera, is so that I can film for a lot longer. And I also have a viewfinder. So YouTube fam, if I keep looking this way, it's because I have a viewfinder now. But no, I have a Sony a6000. Great camera. The only thing is that it doesn't record for very long periods of time. It gets overheated really easily. So we are testing out this new camera that I just got, the Sony ZV-1. I'm super excited. We got some upgrades going. We are loving it. So if you guys are new to my podcast, I do feature a member of the week of someone that listens to my podcast, Let's Vibe. So this week I'm going to feature a review from the podcast. I forget I tell you guys to review the podcast and then I go and check Apple Podcasts and there's a new review every now and then. It just makes me so happy. So this one is going to be from Amy. She is going to be our Let's Vibe member of the week. She wrote a 5-star review, so thank you. And she said, "Amazing lady, amazing podcast. The title says it all. This podcast is inspiring and uplifting for the soul. Aid is a true queen." Insert that puppy eyes emoji. Thank you so much, Amy, for your support and for the review. I appreciate it so much, and it means a lot to have you as a part of my community. So if you guys would like to be featured, keep on tagging me on Instagram, write those reviews. I appreciate you guys so much. It helps me out. This is free content that I do for you guys every week. That's almost an hour's worth of content. So I do really hope that you guys are enjoying it and whatnot, and it makes me happy to connect with you in that way. Final announcement I have before we dive into today's episode is Let's Vibe is now going to be posted on Tuesdays instead of Mondays. I really liked having it start off on Mondays and start off the week and everything. However, I've just been enjoying my weekends not working that much. You know, when I was having festival after festival after festival, I was having to work on the weekends in between to just get stuff out and get content out. And, you know, with Corona and the pandemic and everything, I've really been able to just kind of take it slow on the weekends and just work during the week. So I'm really trying to maximize my time during the week to work on stuff, which means not working as much on the weekends. And I've just been really loving that. So I love working for this brand and whatnot, but it's summertime. And since festivals are kind of on pause for now, I'm going to try and get the majority of the week done and just enjoy my weekends. You know, it's really hard if you're working all 7 days out of the week. So I'm really trying to set some better boundaries and be flexible and adaptable and whatnot. So this has just been a really great time for that. So I've just been trying to honor that and not work as much, work smarter, not harder, you know, all that good stuff. I still want to keep on being efficient and keep on getting content out and being consistent and all that. So I just wanted to let you guys know, just to establish that boundary and let you guys know what to expect from me. So this podcast is going to be every Tuesday and it's going to be every other week. So, without further ado, let's get into today's episode by kicking it off with a vibe check. For those that don't know, I do a vibe check at the top of every episode just to check in with y'all and what's been going on in my life, and it's a great way for you to also check in with yourself. So what we'll do is we'll take 3 deep breaths, and then I'll ask a couple questions, and we'll go from there and see how this goes. So we'll take a first deep breath in and back out. Take it in again. And back out. Last one. And hold it. And back out. I feel like I did that too fast. How am I feeling today? Do I like this feeling? What could make today better? What could I affirm for myself? What am I grateful for today? I'll go ahead and answer, and you can think about yours now or as you go throughout today. So today, I'm feeling pretty good. Monday, it was pretty slow to get through and a little hard to focus on work, but it was a pretty good Monday. I feel like I'm getting back into some sort of routine. I felt pretty off my routine, which is not normal for me, but to me, like getting off my routine is like 1 or 2 things are kind of out of place, as opposed to like other people when they get off their routines, it's like everything's chaotic. So I've just been not doing stuff. Like I hadn't been meditating, hadn't been journaling. Tuesdays and Thursdays, I was like working out later in the day. So it was just very weird and inconsistent. And I'm a very consistent person. That's just how I succeed in life. You know what I mean? So we've been doing a lot better this week. Last week was a really good week. This week, I imagine, is going to be also a good week. The sun is coming through. So the rainbows are going to hopefully maybe come through this video. No, but yeah, so it's been a good week. I'm going to have a 4-day week with 4th of July. What else has been going on? It's been so long. It's been like 2 weeks since I talked to you guys last. I'm trying to think of like everything that happened, but not much has really changed. Texas just put some new restrictions back on because we had a spike in cases and stuff. That's been really hard. Is like I live in Texas and I'm from Arizona, so I can't go home to Arizona right now because of the corona cases, and I live in Texas, so I also have to be worried about corona right now. And so it's just been a really weird time. I'm also starting to know a lot more people that have gotten it, which is kind of interesting. Before I didn't know anyone, and now I kind of know a couple of individuals that have gotten it. Luckily, no one I've come in contact with, but still, it's a little freaky. But yeah, we've just been doing good, enjoying summer, taking the weekends as I can, still learning how to DJ, still shuffling when I can, working out. I've been eating kind of poorly on the weekends, so trying to be a little bit better about that going forward. But yeah, it's been good. We've been doing good. So what could I do to make what I'm feeling better? Is there a need to? I don't think so. Just keep on trucking along, staying consistent. I've been having a hard time focusing at work, so finding ways to stay focused. Another update. I'm going to be moving to a new apartment in August, so that is something that I am really excited about, and that's why I've been kind of busy is figuring all that stuff out. But I did sign a lease on Friday, so that was really exciting. And I'm so excited because I'm going to be living alone again. I love my roommate, but I'm excited to live alone again. There's no tea, no shade there. She wants to live with one of our friends. I want to live alone again. And I'm excited to not have my desk or my workspace be in my bedroom. Like, I'm so excited for that. So if you guys don't know, I'm doing this podcast from my bedroom. I have a desk inside of here, so I'm literally living in my bedroom all day, and I have to keep on getting up and taking walks and stuff. So I'm really excited to just have my own space again and be able to just like sprawl out wherever and have my own little like creative studio going. I'm excited. But yeah, the work's been a little bit like of a drag, so just trying to stay focused and stay motivated with that. But we're kind of in a slow period anyway, so I think it's fine. 3 things I'm grateful for today. So number 1, I'm grateful for being present and doing what feels good. So honoring, when I need to take rest, honoring when I need to not work on stuff, and doing just what feels good for me. If it feels good to just relax and watch Netflix, that's it. You know what I mean? So, number 2, I'm grateful for my health. Like I said, I've known a lot of people that have gotten sick recently. And I am very grateful for my health and for my body for being able to keep me safe and keep me protected and whatnot. And then the last one, I'm grateful for my security. So I am very grateful that I do have a job still and that I have a roof over my head and everything like that. So I feel like I've been more grateful for a lot of things like that lately. And then finally, my affirmation for today. So my affirmation is I am allowed to find joy without feeling guilt. This is something I've been struggling with a little bit because of everything that's been going on in the world, with our Black Lives Movement, with the pandemic, with everything. It feels really hard to be happy for yourself about stuff when there's other things going on. I tend to lean more towards being an empath, meaning I take on the energies of other people. And I really empathize for them and I take that on. So going throughout all of the Black Lives Matter movement when it first started, when George Floyd passed, I was just getting so drained by being on social media. And it was just really hard because there was good stuff going on in my life. I was getting brand deals. I was having opportunities come through. So it was really hard to be happy about those. So I've been really trying to find that balance of okay, changing that guilt into joy, but then also still doing my part for that movement and for everything going on. You know what I mean? You're still able to have that joy without feeling guilty, but just make sure that you're also still doing your part to take action and, have those conversations with people, educate yourself, keep donating, keep signing petitions, stuff like that. So that's something that I've been internally battling with, is just I feel bad in a way for having all these great things happen to me. You know what I mean? When the rest of the world is just on fire and going crazy. So that is my affirmation for today and feeling really great about it. Everything's been doing well. So I hope you guys are doing well as well. And, things are hard. It's been a weird ass year, I'm going to say. So if you've been going through a tough time, just know you're doing your best you can and hang in there. Everything's only temporary. And I'm really sending you some good vibes your way. So that was our vibe check for today. I am going to take a short break and then we will get into the topic of drive-in raves and festivals. Hello. I haven't talked on my breaks in a hot minute, so I got reminded of this from at AirPeach on Twitter, AirPeach1 on Twitter, where I featured brands from time to time. And I'm going to be honest, I did this once and I blanked on it. I did this in an episode a long time ago. So this week I'm featuring another brand to support during this time, just to give a little shout out. For one, on my blog, I have a whole blog post dedicated to Black-owned rave and festival brands to support. I'm hoping to do a haul of some of these brands sometime soon, so that could be a great place to start if you're looking to support some of those brands by purchasing from them. I want to feature some of them eventually once I've tested out the products and ordered from them and get a feel for it. You know what I mean? So I'm just going to say that's on my website if you guys want to go check that out. But another brand I wanted to shout out this week includes Brit's Blossoms. I've had kind of this pinch me moment getting to work with Brit's Blossoms and getting to work with Brit, and we have such a great relationship. And we've been able to create some really fun content together, and I'm just really so glad to have her in my life. So I wanted to give her a shout out. She does a lot of cute headpieces, a lot of the furry kitty ears. She has flower crowns, earrings. She just started coming out with tie-dye sets, so tops and socks, and they're so cute. And you can also do custom orders from her as well. So even with festivals being on pause, I truly admire Brit's work ethic to just keep going. This is what she does. She's been doing it for so long. And her products are great quality. I have so many of her headbands and stuff, and they are just perfect. And that's the thing with supporting small businesses, is that you're directly supporting her and her dreams and what she's doing by supporting her business. So that's what we love about supporting small businesses. So I just wanted to shout her out. If you would like to purchase from Brit's Blossoms, you can use Vibe with 8 to save 10% off. You don't have to. That just helps me as I represent her as an ambassador. So yeah, go check her out. I will link her in the show notes and everything. And she is at Brit's Blossoms on Instagram. So now let's get back into today's episode. All right, you guys. So let's just do a quick check of how festival season has been going in 2020. It hasn't been. It's just so crazy to me. Like, you know, in the fall of last year, when all these lineups were dropping, we were just feeling so overwhelmed. Our wallets were overwhelmed, but we were just so excited because we had all these exciting plans. I was supposed to hit like 12 festivals, I think, this year. And it just all came to a halt in March of 2020. So some of us were able to attend Okeechobee and Cross before all of this erupted, and others didn't really get to. They still had only gone to festivals last year, so they didn't really get an opportunity to have a festival season really at all. And I think in March and April, we were all remaining pretty hopeful that festivals would come back in the fall. And now being in June, it's seeming to be a little bit less likely, and less of like a reality. If you guys didn't recently see, major festivals like Bonnaroo and Lost Lands were scheduled for September and are now canceled for 2020, and Bass Canyon along with that, which I feel for you guys if you are disappointed about that, if you're heartbroken about that. I was upset about Forest and Lightning in a Bottle, so I totally feel you guys on that. Unfortunately, it's just the matter of the fact is we haven't done our part to flatten the curve, right? We're still seeing cases rise in states that were pretty quick to open, like Texas and Arizona and Florida. And something's not working, obviously. And it's going to be probably a while until we have major festivals. If you have tickets to, say, EDC and some of the other ones that are still planned right now, I would just be mentally preparing yourself to understand, like, it would be a big stretch for those to happen. Like Coachella canceled too. So yeah, I just want to call out to that it's not looking too hot, if I'm being honest, to attend festivals. So I think it's super, super, super important that if you care about live music, if you care about festivals coming back eventually, that's the last phase for a lot of states and for like our country, basically. It's super important to keep doing your part in staying home, wearing a mask if you do have to leave. I know it's been such a hard time for many, but you got to just do what you can to keep reducing the spread of the virus, right? And it's hard. Like, it's summertime. We all want to be out and about. Like, I went on a boat this past weekend because we just haven't gotten out of the house. You know what I mean? So it's been super hard. But just be smart about it. Be safe about it. Still wear your mask. Still wash your hands, hand sanitizer, all that stuff. But this is why I was super intrigued to attend EDM Drive-In in San Antonio, because I'd seen videos from the drive-in festivals in Europe. So I was curious what this could look like for the US. So my friend Chase and I, we traveled down to check it out while still attempting to be safe and be smart about it. Since we are still in the middle of a pandemic and Texas is one of the worst states in the US right now, so we were going in with the fact of like wanting to be safe. I really was just mainly going to get the content, to see what's up, because there's not a lot of information out about this. This is a new territory for us that we're entering. There's been a couple of those raves and festivals or drive-in raves in Arizona. So I really wanted to get the scoop on it and get the scoop for you guys to see what's up. So that was my main intentions for going, because I am a content creator in the festival space. So it felt like something that I needed to do to go cover and figure out. And there are going to be more and more of these popping up. So I feel like I had to put my creator detective hat to get all the details and see what this looks like. So this is going to be my review of the event, what happened and whatnot. If you're subscribed to my YouTube channel, I will be posting a vlog on Friday, so you'll get to visually see how it all played out. But for this, I'll be sharing how the experience was and my overall general thoughts about these events moving forward. I used to do a YouTube video on my YouTube channel doing a review, but I have transitioned those to be podcast episodes just because it's a longer format. I can talk a lot more about stuff without feeling like I have to cut out a lot for time's sake. So this is still going to be on YouTube and everything, but just so you guys know, this is why I do these reviews for the podcast episode. I only had one festival review be a podcast episode, and that was for Cross. So I was definitely intending for some more to happen, but we're just going with the flow here. So to set the stage, I live in Austin, Texas, for those that don't know. So we traveled about an hour 15, hour 30 to San Antonio. It's not super far from us. There's been drive-in raves in Dallas and Houston, which are more of a commitment for us, more of a drive for us. So we felt like going to the San Antonio would work out best. We just went Friday, but it was both Friday and Saturday. I was able to get a free ticket and a press pass for us, so we had a comp ticket for 2 of us in general admission area, and that was good for our car. So you basically, I'll talk about the ticketing, but you basically pay for the parking spot, and then you pay for how many people are in your car. But I was super excited. I got to partner with them as a media partner, which was a really exciting thing for me. As for the ticket pricing, since we didn't pay for tickets, I did take a screenshot of the pricing for what day one looked like to give you an idea. So I'll tell you guys what that was. I know they sold out of 2-day tickets, so they were still offering 1-day tickets for certain sections for Friday and Saturday. So for the general area, which was where we were at, the backlot parking, for 2 general tickets with parking, it was $36.95 per ticket and $20 parking and then sales tax. So that was, without tax and everything, was $101. So it was $100 for 2 people in 1 car. So basically $50 per person. And then if you had 4 people, it was $172. And then Squad XL was 6 tickets, was about $257. And then say you had like, they called it a third wheel additional ticket. So say you had like 3 people or you had 5 people, essentially you would get the squad pack and then you would get the additional ticket. And that additional ticket was an extra $60. So that was for the GA parking. And then for the preferred area, that was the next level up. It was $123 for 2 tickets. And so that was about $50 per person, as opposed to the other one was $36. So a little bit above that. And then if you had 4 people, $216. Squad XL was $322. And then premium area, the 2-person was $155, so that was at $56.95 per person, and then you had $30 parking. So you're basically paying for the view and everything, being super close. And when you guys see the vlog, you guys can see what the difference is for that. So we got placed in general area parking, so I'll talk more about what that looked like. Leading up to the event, EDM Drive-In announced updates like the fact we'd be able to get out of the cars. However, if you've been following what's been going on in Texas or heard about it, the governor announced Friday morning that bars had to close at 12 p.m. all throughout Texas. Restaurants could only be at 50%, and any event larger than 100 people had to be approved by the government. So this was literally the morning of the event, so I was curious what would happen. Luckily, they worked with the government or something, and we had to just stay in our cars throughout the event, which before we were allowed to get outside of it, I think we were supposed to have like a little area in front of us, in front of the car. So, you know, it was better than nothing, better than it being canceled. I also was worried it was going to rain, but it was okay. It was just super humid, but the weather was pretty decent, so that was really nice. So with this kind of stuff, you just kind of have to go with the flow with these things since it's so uncharted territory. We left around 4 to start driving down. We stopped for food on the way, and we got to the gates right as the gates opened around 6:30. The venue was at the Freeman Coliseum, which is basically like northwest San Antonio, and it's some AT&T stadium. I don't follow sports, so I don't know these things. But when gates first opened, there was a line of cars leading up to the venue. It wasn't too packed or anything like that. We ended up going to a gas station to stop for some stuff. And then by the time we got back in line, there wasn't too big of a line, which I was surprised by. I'm just so used to festival lines being crazy, you know what I mean? I think Saturday sold more tickets, so it wasn't too packed for us. Saturday had like a very trancy lineup with Cosmic Gate, which I think drew in a lot of people. But they checked our tickets, and then they gave us a colored brochure and put it on our window that basically said what section we were in. And then we continued driving along. So they had a DJ on the way in that won like a competition. So they had set times for those DJs. So there was always a DJ playing when you were driving in, which I thought was really cool. Except if you like that DJ, you can't hang around it, which I thought it's like once you pass him, like you don't get to see him anymore. But yeah, and then They had sponsors handing out stuff. All the sponsors were wearing gloves and masks and stuff, so that was super safe. But we got Red Bull, Topo Chico, and a gift bag. We also used hand sanitizer after like the exchange and stuff just to be safe. They also had a fun backdrop, so our car got to stop in front of this in front of this backdrop, which was really cool, and they took a photo of us, so it was like a nice little souvenir. Since you don't have like art installations to pose next to, or you're gonna have like a really weird parking lot photo and stuff, that was a nice little touch I really liked. I didn't expect that. One thing I didn't know that didn't happen was they didn't have security check our car. There wasn't like any type of security check, which I thought was interesting. And they didn't check if we were 21 or that we had alcohol in the car and stuff. Because we did have alcohol. I was going to be the only person drinking, but they didn't check all that stuff. And they said on the website that they would. So I thought that was interesting. I mean, could be a little bit of a liability and could be potentially unsafe to not have that. So just something to think about. After that, we got directed to our spot, and it was basically just in the parking lot of this stadium, and we were in lot 1. I wasn't sure if we'd be in some like dusty kind of thing, but it was literally just asphalt parking lot. So basically already had like the areas marked off. So in front of us, there were more cars, and eventually you could see the stage. It wasn't too far. Like, honestly, if I think about where I stand at a stage at a festival, is probably the same amount of distance from where I normally stand, except the stage is just a lot bigger, so it's easier to see. However, they did have visual screens and speakers on the side near us, so it wasn't too big of a strain in still being able to get that visual and lighting aspect. We had a parking spot between us and then other cars on the other side. So then the way that you hear the music is through the radio. So in that little brochure, it listed like general rules and stuff, but then the radio station that you turn into. Without the radio, you can still kind of hear it, but having the radio helps for sure, and you're able to get that bass feeling as well. I'd recommend having a car with a nice sound system. If your sound system's pretty crappy, it's not going to sound too great. We also saw someone has like a Bluetooth speaker that was able to plug into radio somehow too, so we saw that as well. We weren't sure how strict they'd be about staying in your car since they had just made that announcement, but if you were out of the car, they just wanted you to have a mask on and not going to other cars, and not, you know, if you were a group of 4 people or if you were a group of 5 people, they didn't want to see like 8 people at your car. So they had golf carts driving around just checking in on everyone, making sure everyone was kind of following that rule. But no one yelled at us to get back in our car, and he just told us to have our mask on, which was nice because there was sometimes your girl wanted to shuffle, and I just wanted to stay near the car and shuffle. Like, I wasn't trying to go anywhere else. The only time we left our car was to go to the bathrooms. They had attendants at the bathrooms directing us to which porta potties were clean and had toilet paper. They were cleaning them before and after each use. They had plenty of hand sanitizer and hand soap stations. So it's crazy how a pandemic is probably going to change how we take care of these public spaces at festivals, like how they always should have been when this is over and stuff. But yeah, I was pretty happy about that. It made me feel a lot better. And we wore our masks and everything when we went to the bathrooms. As for what people were wearing, people were dressed pretty ravey still and had really cute outfits. I thought one plus is like if you wanted to wear platforms, you can easily bring a change of shoes and just put your platforms back in the car and change your shoes. So that's something that's really nice. Also saw people that had whips and flow toys and stuff like that. People like, if you had a bed, like you had a hatchback or a truck bed, like a lot of people got into it and like decorated it, had lights and stuff. So that was super cool. We were just in like a little Mazda sedan, so we didn't do a whole lot with our spot. But yeah, there wasn't any food or drinks on site. They did have an Italian ice cart driving around, but wasn't feeling that. We actually brought our own water, drinks, and snacks to make sure we'd be good throughout the night. We did also leave our car at another point because I did have a press pass, so I was able to go around and get some footage and content elsewhere and see what it was like being in the other sections. Which was really great that I could do that. So we checked out what the preferred and premium areas looked like, stayed safe, stayed socially distanced, had the mask and everything. And those definitely did have a better view of the stage because that's essentially what you're paying for. And those sections were first come, first serve. So if you wanted to get there early and get a good spot in your section that you're in, you definitely could do that. If you have, like I said, if you have a truck or a car with a hatchback, that seemed to be the best move because you could have like blankets and pillows and whatever it may be and be able to like have your own little cuddle puddle session and whatnot, and be able to do a lot more. Have a nice place to sit. We had to sit in our cars because we didn't have that. So it seems like that was a really good move to have. I also got to meet some of the lunchbox team. So that was really cool from a distance. We stayed safe about it. But it was definitely different. But I still felt the same energy of hearing live music, being there and stuff. You're just kind of missing that whole experience component, you know, like the art installations, the vendors, like all that stuff you're still kind of missing, which is going to be a while until you can have that stuff again. And it just feeling like it's not as interactive, but I still felt like we could make the most of it and have a good time being present and just enjoying the music. Like it'd been so long since we heard live music, you know, that it was just nice to like be somewhere else and hear live music. You know what I mean? And as a collective, like you could still hear people. We tried the camera. She's still overheated. That's so annoying. Why does Sony always have these issues? Anyway, as for the music, so I only knew 2 of the artists on the lineup, which was Tritonal and Hook and Sling. All the sets were really great. And like I said, it was just nice to hear live music. You know, I've been doing my own little DJ thing, learning how to DJ and like throwing my own little parties at home. But it was nice to hear like the actual pros do it and be able to dance somewhere else that was not my apartment. So they started off with Catabolic. He is from San Antonio. He threw like a very dubstep bass melodic kind of set, which was really good. He had like Illenium in there, Seven Lions, and like threw down. I think he also played some Sudden Death, I want to say. And it was just a really good high energy like set to kick off the night and stuff. And him being from San Antonio, I'm sure was like a cool moment for him getting to represent and whatnot. Then there was Coast Club, which was this awesome house duo. I remember reading their bio. It was like they're surfers by day and like DJs on the weekend and stuff like that. They had a very good house set. They were playing all sorts of stuff that I was like really digging. And I finally got to like shuffle again, which just felt so good. And then I'd been wanting to see Hook and Sling for such a long time. They have a Genghis Khan remix that I remember hearing in a Chainsmokers 2016 Ultra set. Random, I know. They also have a song with Galantis and stuff. He has a song with Galantis. But he's more of like your electro house, euphoric, fun drops. Like if you like Galantis, like very similar to Galantis. But yeah, that was a very good highlight for me to finally like check that person off. You know what I mean? Henry Fong was probably the biggest surprise of the night. His set was just so high energy and it went from dubstep to bass to house to bass house. Like it was all over the place in the best way possible. Like it just flowed still really well and I was just in awe of it. So yeah, I'm a big fan of Henry Fong now. Definitely going to be checking him out a lot more. And then finally Tritonal, which I have all the feels for them. They had a very trancey and feelsy set. They're actually from Austin, Texas, so represent. But I haven't seen them since Decadence, Arizona 2016. So I was really excited to see them again. They played First Time by Slander, Dab, and Seven Lions. And then they played that into Crawl Out of Love by Illenium. And then they played that into See the End by Above and Beyond and Seven Lions. That like 5-6 minutes, I was just like a puddle because I hadn't heard it in so long and it just felt so good to hear that. But yeah, all in all, it was a great night of music and I got to discover some new artists, so that's always a plus. They ended the night with some fireworks to cap off a really great night. You know, I was worried they ended the night with some fireworks to cap off a great night too, so I was worried if it'd be a nightmare getting out, but since we were in the back, we got out super quick. I think had it been more sold out, it would have taken a little bit, but it was just a very smooth process. So overall, I felt like it was a great night. You know, getting out of the house and hearing live music again and filming a vlog just had me back in my element and it felt really good. And it reminded me like, this is what I'm good at and this is what This is what I do, like covering events, hearing live music, enjoying it, being present and all that. That's like in my nature. You know what I mean? It just felt good to have that familiar feeling again. But if you're able to stay safe and be smart about it and not compromise the health of others, I think this is a great option. I don't think we'll be going to any others in the future just for right now with the way things are going. And I don't think any will be happening in Texas at this point right now with everything going on. But with that being said, we need to just keep on doing what we can to reduce the spread. So make sure you're wearing your mask if you're outside of your car, have hand sanitizer on deck, and stay a healthy distance away from people not in your car. These are going to keep popping up, but they can easily get taken away if we're not doing our part. I've heard at some of the ones in Arizona that people are like rolling or like they're drugged out and they just want to talk to people and they're going to other people's areas and like still trying to trade candy with them. And that's just like, like it's great to be friendly and everything and you want to like meet people and stuff and hang out with people, but we really need to be smart about it because it's putting other people at risk. So just because you're not showing symptoms, you could still pass it along to people. So you got to make sure that we're being safe about this. Because like I said, they can easily get taken away. So don't be the person that ruins the fun for the rest of us. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. Like, I thought it was a great time. It's definitely different. But for a nice little Friday night outing that Chase and I got to have, it was really great. But let me know, are you about these drive-in raves? Are you not? What's holding you back from going to one? Because a lot of people say it's the price. Other people are worried about safety concerns, obviously. So I'm curious what your thoughts are. So feel free to comment it down below or let me know. Do you think you'll go to one if it pops up near you? I'd love to have a discussion about it since they're more than likely sticking around until we have normal festivals again. But yeah, thank you so much to EDM Drive-In for having me and letting me cover your event. They are part of a group called Electronic Fiesta. So that is a group in San Antonio that's hoping to do a lot more events once COVID kind of calms down and stuff. But yeah, the vlog is going to be out on Friday, so be sure to tune in then. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning into today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Just a reminder, from now on, Let's Vibe is going to be on Tuesdays every other week. So I will talk to you guys in 2 weeks. But tag me on Instagram where you're listening from. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. All that jazz. I hope you guys are staying safe and healthy out there. And I will talk to you guys in the next one. I love you guys and stay vibey. Bye.